right, Arielle Live TV is back. We have this discussion about Juan, her life story now. It become her life story. She is a musician and she writes her own music and she has a lot of experience that maybe she can tell to the young generation right now who are into drugs and never listen to their parents.
Yes,
And maybe she can give a little bit advice how to get over of that situation. Go ahead, Juan.
Yes.
Gotta be obedient.
You gotta be. You have to.
You must be
And when your
obedient.
parents tell you things, they're not telling you things to get on your nerves or make you feel bad or
Just
have you be mad at them to get
the way of
anxious
the land.
and want to box them. You have to listen nowadays, because if you
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
you get into something out there you don't want to be into, like I did. And I didn't listen, but I learned.
All right, that John is trying to say that no matter what, the parents are mad at you just because we want you to be, a person that they will expected. Finish your school, get a good education, and get a good job so that you can sustain the life that you want. Not from your parents, coming out from your parents. So I think what she learned a lesson is, I wish she never done what she did. I wish she never done that. She disrespect her family. She should never go to jail and she never get a drugs. But now she has a good life. She is a musician. She write music. So if you guys want to learn music, Joanne is here and Joanne can give your website or telephone number.
And not only for the kids, some of you are all seniors out there. That's when I started, when I was in my 40s, for real. And I got this far. I just wanted to do it because I love music. I love dance. I love the arts.
I love to dance.
I love the arts. I love the arts. I can't get enough of them. I listen to them. I write. I arrange. I produce. I go to the studio. But the main thing we're trying to bring out to you young folks, is you have to change your life. If you're doing something that's to be disobedient, you are going to pay. And when you pay, when
With
you
your
go
life.
pay, you are going to feel. And when you feel, that feeling is real. And it ain't the type of feel you wish for your body to have. But I learned that my mom and my dad was only telling me stuff for my sake.
Because they loved you.
Because they loved
it.
They
That's
love
right.
you.
because they
wanted to be,
loved me.
That's
And
For your
even though
days.
I got off track, I didn't have to.
You got back on
I
track.
got back on track, but I had to go to prison.
But were they welcoming you back? Of
Yes.
course they did.
Yeah,
because
of
love
course
never
they did.
disappears.
And
It's like the
now-
prodigal son.
Joanne,
That's
I wanna,
right.
I wanna, I wanna separate your story. Probably later on we can talk about that next week. Let's talk about why you went to prison, right?
Okay, all
Let's
right,
talk
why
about the
not?
bad story you have. But how about you, Steve? Steve become a lawyer. Are you become a good child? That's why.
I'm not sure what you said. One day I'll follow your English. But
You been good. You better be
You're
a
a
good
good
boy.
child.
no, what it is?
Right.
Well, you know what it is. I had good parents, grandparents. Although I didn't have a grandmother, they died when I was young, both my mother's side and my father's side. My mom, as a matter of fact, her mother died when she was like 7 years old. My grandfather on my mother's side raised 4 daughters, and by himself for many years.
Praise the-
And my great grandmother died on my birthday, believe it or not, when I was born. So you don't miss what you don't have.
That's true.
unfortunately.
Yes.
However,
Yes.
there is support is important. Education is important.
Yes, it is.
And my grandfather would say, you know what? If you want something, you have to work hard for it.
You have
That's
to
what
earn it.
At our
You
age,
have
Well,
to
you know
earn
what?
it.
Nowadays, they don't do that. You already had it. My daughter has the expensive
And that's
iPhone
true.
Plus 8, and they have computer, but they're very intelligent.
let me tell you something. When she was at our age, when we went to college, or I went to college, we took out student loans, and they were minimum loans, $1,000, $2,000. But you know what? People our age didn't complain about it. We paid them back.
Absolutely.
We paid them
But
back.
right now,
It wasn't entitlement.
my sister owes a lot of money, and my sister actually cannot pay it back because the loan are too expensive.
Well, don't
But
pay
she has an
$800 for a phone. Who pays $800? Well, you probably paid $800. When you think about it, if you get a phone, let's say an iPhone, and they say, okay, we'll give you a great deal, $100 a month or $200 a month. Let's say $100 a month. 3-year contract, you're paying $3,600 for a phone.
For a phone.
Give me a break.
I'm telling
Give me
you.
a break. Is it worth it? It's called value.
Alexander
So,
Bell
for
would
example, Myra, I treated a certain way, and that was if you want to watch television, you could watch it, let's say, 2 hours a day, public television, if that was it. And you couldn't watch it. You would have to study.
Yes.
If I didn't see her studying, I said, "Where's your homework?" "I did it already, Dad." "Come on, Myra. Did you do it, or are you just not doing it?" So you need to be pushed, really. And children's today, and this is maybe a debate of what you were saying, that the parents seem to say, they know it all. You should study, study, study. The kids say, "I know what's going on." I don't. Well, if I see kids playing on a phone or video games, that means they're not doing their homework. I'm sorry to say, that's why.
Well, they don't know how to write. That's for
But
sure.
that phone is more important.
Yes,
It's
yes.
just that phone is
Well,
so important.
I know a lot of parents are,
They're not
they want to
teaching.
control their children, but the children nowadays cannot be controlled. But it depends upon to the parents
Say
how
guide. Don't say control. Say guide. I think
Well,
guide.
no.
Train.
Some guide train.
Children
or
need to be trained that
maybe,
they come up in the right
That's
way.
right.
Yeah, we can use
Because-
different words
Yeah,
towards
train.
our kids.
Discipline.
But sometimes we intend to
Guided,
control them sometimes
counsel.
because they are out of bound.
Yeah. Well, this generation today that we have, everybody is entitled to a right. You got a 5-year-old sitting there having a tantrum, and he's supposed to give you everything, but you don't know how to do anything.
See, I hate that word entitlement.
Yeah.
I believe you deserve what you,
You
get.
earn it.
Earn it, right.
You earn it.
That's right, the
Remember
hard
that
way.
commercial used to come on? You earn it the old-fashioned way.
That's right.
If you want something, you earn it.
And I don't
Yes,
consider us
yes.
old-fashioned. Are you old-fashioned? I'm not
No,
old-fashioned.
honey, I want to get down with the get down.
No, I bet you remember your grandparents as old people when they were in their 80s, 70s and 80s, but as you approach that years, they're not old. But in your perception, they were.
But you know what? And the generation 1950s, 50s or 40s, we cannot compare it to the new generation.
Why not?
It's different. It's more high technology.
You know, some- you know,
nowadays.
it's some-
The year 1940s is
I
your
was born in
generation.
49. Let me tell you something, lady. Let me tell you something. When my grandfather was born in the late 1890s, they didn't have electricity all over the country. They
Sure
didn't have
didn't.
computers
And
or
they didn't have
telephone
We had
or radio.
lamps.
Right? They had technology coming.
Hey, that's my
Right.
country. We
It's
have
all
that
relative.
too. We use the
Right.
lamp.
You're right.
Uh-huh, we
gas
used the
lamp,
lamp.
candles.
We
You guys
used
love
it
that?
too.
Kerosene
Yeah, we
We
use
lamp.
used the lamp and we had midwives.
Yeah, we use that.
Well,
We use
midwives,
you
I know
use
I
that
didn't
too?
use, but I understand what you're saying. But the point is,
And we use the
But that's the
iron with
old-fashioned way.
even-
charcoal.
let me tell you
Yeah.
something in which when I was even in high school in the 50s and 60s, if you want to make a long distance telephone call, that was a big deal.
Yes.
And it wasn't until I was in college that I actually met a person who made an international phone call. Wow, you just today it's routine, right?
Yeah.
When
Well,
I
it's
was
all
young,
technology.
that was. But my father used to like jazz when he was alive. He had a lot of vinyl records.
Oh,
I had at home records from the 1910,
45.
1912.
Yeah.
45 go
45,
back before
78,
that.
33.
78.
Yes,
And
yes.
in which these were
78.
one side 78 from 1912, 1914. But it's like the radio, where I said there aren't any real oldie stations today because
Well,
of music. Let me just for the 50s and 60s, and it's the same thing as when we were young. Radio didn't carry jazz
So
and
it
big
didn't.
band because that was considered outdated.
We all
and that's
had
what you're
Elvis
saying. too.
Presley and
It's
Sam
Steve,
Cooke.
it's what we're trying
Hubba,
to
hubba, hubba, baby.
what we're talking about here is the comparison now the children.
Right.
We were bringing the old generation. Why go back to the old generation if we can be in a new generation?
Yeah.
Because we're going to
respect.
jail.
Because
But
values stay
it
the
has
same.
to be
jail.
respectful or it has to be
They put us in
disciplined.
jail.
That's what does
Yeah.
values
Discipline.
change?
Very
Do
disciplined.
values change with
Yeah.
time, or are they accept the same values but you apply them differently? I think loving your parents, taking care of your parents, taking care of relatives, not saying bad things to people, those are common values.
What's what you're
that stay
supposed to
with-
do.
That's right. It's nothing to do whether if you're
It's
born
just-
in 1920 or 1960 or 1999. There are certain key values that need to be respected. Now,
That's
perhaps you
right.
call me old-fashioned because I believe in that.
Well,
perhaps,
but I do too.
don't. And
It's
I
a
think
part
most
of the
people believe that.
republic. The republic
right.
says,
Do
says
you
what?
guys agree? If you don't have the phone, how could you be able to survive?
We gonna go back to the way it used to. When I get off at 9
And
o'clock
get
at
the
night, I call you
dial,
when I
and we
get home.
dial.
Or the
Click,
payphone.
click, 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 click.
Or the
Click,
payphone.
click,
You're
click,
in
click,
the middle of nowhere.
We
How
had
you-
party lines. We were so
Where-
glad to get
you're-
one.
You're in the middle of nowhere. How are you going to be able to be reached out?
Get a can
They
and a
don't.
string.
Why do you need to? That's the difference with local community. You don't have to reach out to others. You're already in
Yes.
that community. People
No, if
around
you go somewhere else and you get lost, how are you going to be able to be reached
Well,
out?
you
What did
better
they-
have a compass.
Let me ask you this: what did people do when they got lost in the 1950s and 60s and 70s.
They found their way.
I'm here.
It's different now.
I was a
It's
Boy
here.
Scout, a
It's
cop,
a-
as you
know
learn.
what? It's
The
different now. It's
survival.
more worse than before. Before it's more respectful.
So it is.
You were not
That's different.
afraid.
It sure is.
You're
That's
not afraid.
different.
You're not afraid to go out there. Nowadays, if you get lost, you're dead.
Not necessarily.
Yeah,
you
but
can't let
sometimes.
fear.
Anyway,
you can't let fear
we'll
come
be right
in.
back to our, I don't know, conversation or debate. We'll be right back on our segment.
You
The
know,
old
We'll be right
fogies.
back.